All right, let's put on some makeup today. So, I'm listening to Pilates by Raven. She was on a podcast, so that's what I have playing in the background. And today we're going to talk about three products that I'm kind of on the fence about. One being a primer, and two being like a really juicy lip combo that you're going to see at the end that I don't know how I feel about. So, I'm curious to see if it's a love it or hate it, or if it's like a keep or toss, in your opinion. And excuse me if you hear a little clinking in the background. I have like a warm cup of tea right now because I'm trying to get my voice back. So excuse me if I sound a little bit like scruffy, but we're gonna rock with it. So the first thing that you saw me applying to my face was the first product in question, which is this MAC Studio Radiance Moisturizing Illuminating Silky Primer Base. And I don't know. You guys can see in the video. Does my face look illuminated? Does it look silky? Does this primer look like it did anything really? I got it because I wanted something that was a bit more hydrating because I had been using the Hourglass Veil Primer for years, but I think I used it in a video or two ago. But I mentioned that it's kind of become a bit cakey, so I was looking for a primer that had a little bit more hydration in it and also a bit more luminosity. So again, Studio Radiance Illuminating Silky Primer. You would think that it would just be liquid gold in a bottle, right? So it goes on very beautifully. It feels great. It's just very thick and luxurious. And that's why you kind of saw me really taking my time and massaging it into my face because it just felt so good. But I don't think that it's doing much, and I'm curious to get your opinion when you see the full face, especially once I add in the NARS foundation, if you feel like it's adding any luminosity, especially if you go back and look at the Get Ready With Me's before, because I don't think I used that primer in those. Is there that much of a difference? I've been trying, do you know how like when you get a new product and you've given it a couple tries and you don't hate it, but you feel like you're forcing yourself to use it because you're forcing yourself to find something redeeming about it so you can actually not waste it? That's where I feel like I'm at. I'm trying to find it doesn't it's nothing horrible. It's like if I needed a primer and I had nothing else, it comes in clutch, which is kind of what's happening. But it doesn't seem to be doing anything extra, and it doesn't seem to be brightening my skin. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of cleaning up my eyebrows because that's a whole other video I want to do, is really delving in and revamping my brow product collection because at this point, I really have just been picking up any brow pencil and doing just like a quick sparse fill in, but I really want to kind of redo my brow routine and kind of add in a little something special. So now I'm going to go in with the NARS foundation, and of course we can tell it's still a bit too dark. I've been outside, I've been by the pool, I've been in the sun. I'm trying to get my hue back. I'm trying to get my beautiful radiant color back, but it's taking a bit of time. So in the meantime, it kind of looks like it blends on camera, but in person it's a smidge orange. It's a bit too warm for where I'm at right now. But this is the foundation on top of the primer. And honestly, especially compared to my other Get Ready With Me, there doesn't seem to be much difference. There's not added hydration or glow. It looks the same as everything else. And up close, it kind of, I'm not even gonna lie, there were some like creases where it was like a smidge cakey, like a smidge cakey. So I'm not sure how I feel. I always spray my brush before I put on foundation with Urban Decay's All Nighter spray. it's just something that I've done for years. I think it's a step that I picked up probably in my early 20s to just add a bit more hydration and staying power on the brush with the foundation. And I've never stopped doing it. But I will say, because Urban Decay's All Nighter has been one of my ride or die products for over a decade, probably since my late teens, I've been using that setting spray. I like it, I love it, but it still doesn't. And I know there's a whole conversation happening recently with like setting sprays and fixing sprays, but it doesn't, it's not keeping my makeup as long as it used to. And it does transfer. My makeup, I don't know what it is. My makeup is starting to transfer more than it ever has before. So, and when I say transfer, you mean like, I know, like, I mean when you know, like maybe hug someone and you get a little makeup on their shirt. Yeah, my setting spray is not helping with that. And I have tried the one size setting spray, fixing spray, because many people had recommended that that one would really help stop with the transfer. And it didn't really do much to me. I was so disappointed because I just kept thinking, I was like, am I using this wrong or did I miss something? Because I'd heard such great reviews about it, but it didn't stop the transfer for me, and it also wasn't helping with my longevity with my makeup. So if you have any recommendations for setting sprays, fixing sprays, let me know because I'm gonna keep the Urban Decay. I'm loyal, so I'm rocking with it until it's no longer rocking with me. But if there is a better, stronger option, I would love to know and love your opinions. So now I'm going in, and this is a tip that I took from, oh my God, his name is Vincent. I can't think of his last name. I don't know if he currently still is, but he was the lead, I think, makeup artist for NARS. And he has a wonderful YouTube channel and he does really great tips. And he did this one video one time where he said to add a bit of powder, like the loose translucent powder, a bit on your brush as you're blending in your concealer. And ever since I saw that video where he gave that tip, and I tried it and loved the result. It's something that I've kept in my back pocket. I don't do it every time I apply my makeup. I think this is actually the first time I'm doing it in a video, but I found that when I do it right, because sometimes I apply a bit too much powder, but it does give a really beautiful kind of flawless finish that I genuinely enjoy. So of course I'm gonna go in with a little bit of that Chanel Le Beige bronzer. I've used it in every video. I use it every day because it just gives the most like delicious like sun-kissed glow. Like it adds just a hint of warmth that really makes it look like the sun is like kissing your skin. It's gorgeous, beautiful powder. So I just add that in. And as I've said before in some of my videos, that I don't really. Oh, I ended up changing what I was watching because I wasn't overly fond of the interviewer. I love Raven from Pilates by Raven. She is a great guest, and I've watched some of her other interviews because she's kind of on a press run. Great interviews, but I wasn't a really big fan of the interviewer in that video. So I switched to a little Jazz Turner, always inspirational, and I completely lost my train of thought. I forgot what I was saying before that. But anyways, I think I was kind of saying that my base routine, like my foundation, my bronzer, my eyebrows, that pretty much stays the same. I don't really do too much in that retrospect. Sometimes I'll change my eye look, but mostly where I have the most play is my lips. Like I love trying new things on my lips, and I'm starting to try a bit more on my eyes. I used to be more experimental on my eyeshadow, but I found that I just like makeup that's a bit more still kind of like glamorous. I don't think you'll ever find me doing like the super, super, super minimal look, but I like it to be a bit like just a bit like what is the word that I'm looking for? I don't want to say minimal because it's not minimal, but maybe like essential glamour. I think that's a good term. Like I just like a nice cute face, and then I like the features about my face and myself that I love the most. I mean, I love everything, but I love my eyes and I love my lips. So those are the ones that I like to play the most with. I love to play with my eyes to draw attention to my eyes, and I love to play with my lips. So that's where you're going to see the most like trial products and like play in these videos is in those areas. So now that we're at the lips, let's talk about this lip combo, and I'm curious to get your opinion on what you think. I'm using the NYX retractable lip liner, which is different for me because you know I love a crayon or a pencil rather than like a mechanical, but this is in the shade Dark Red. So one of the reasons, and you can see it in this video as I apply it, one of the reasons that I'm not overly fond of mechanical lip liners is because they're super creamy and they spread and they move and they bleed so much. It's it's frustrating. Like if I'm trying to line my lips, I don't want it to bleed and move around so much. I want it to stay exactly where I put it. So again, you'll see me go in with my trusty NYX espresso crayon, lip crayon, and add a nice little border to that red that's kind of already, you can see it, the red's already like smearing and bleeding in a little bit. And it gives it a nice shade. I think it's cute, but I'm gonna go in with like a Q-tip and kind of clean it up. And then you're also gonna see me go in like on my lips and kind of remove some of the red that's kind of moved to the inside of my lip because I really wanted to just kind of enunciate the fullness and just have the red on the border and have it like a little fading like into the center, not too much. So it's, you can see my face. It's cute. I'm not sold on it, but it's a bit, what is the term that I'm looking for? It's not the exact type of red that I like. Honestly, I would like it to be a little bit deeper and a bit more richer. It's more of a mauvey red, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. So feedback is welcome. But I went in with just some clear gloss to see how I liked it with just like the liner and like a clear pink center, you know, the pink of my lips with like a clear gloss over it. And honestly, it felt like a bit too much. The entire look kind of felt like a bit heavier than what I was intending, which doesn't that happen all the time? Like we say we're gonna do like a quote unquote simple look and then we just end up in front of the mirror and we have on like a full face of makeup. And because I wanted to play around with more color, I added the NYX Butter Gloss in Rocky Road, which is this kind of almost like a brown cola cherry red. And it was really, I mean, I think it's really sexy. Like it's really like a juicy red lip, but it is a bit more mauve than I would like. I almost wish it was like a shade or two darker. But yeah, what do we think? I think this is just kind of like a fun test run. I don't think this lip is going to be a staple. I'm not loving it, but it was fun. I want to try out, Fenty just launched like a cherry cola lip balm. I might try that next. We might try and go get that so we can try that next. We'll see.